Welcome back. Thousands of workers who look after the nation's forests have been laid off as part of the Trump administration's effort to downsize the federal workforce. These layoffs are happening as wildfires have become more frequent and intense. Our Ian Lee spoke with fired Forest Service workers about this.
Show of hands, how many of you were qualified to fight fires? So you guys could all have been on the front lines this summer fighting fires if needed.
Yes.
Yep. Kelly Martin joins us now. She is the former chief of fire and aviation management at Yosemite National Park. Kelly, it's great to have you with us. I know you are in general an advocate for your brothers and sisters in firefighting, both at the federal level, state, local level. When you see these cuts happening to the Forest Service, what are your chief concerns and what work do you fear would be ordinarily done in this wintertime that's not being done in preparation for fire season?
This whole process of terminating employees has been very, very disruptive to our workforce. We've been advocating for a long time for reforms for the federal wildland firefighters. And the recent firings and terminations have really turned everything on its head and have paused really major efforts to do really good mitigation work in front of and before these wildfires this summer. And so all that is now in question in terms of the work that we normally do in the wintertime.
Kelly, it's been said by Elon Musk and implied by senior Trump administration officials that these reductions in the federal workforce are for poor performance or non-performance. In your experience, does that ever adequately describe those who do the work that you do and that you know your colleagues do?
You know, I think that this was indiscriminate and a decision that was made that is not beneficial, to our workforce by cutting these temporary and probationary. And probationary is just a term for how long you've actually been on the job. It's not for performance at all. What that does is it really knocked the morale out of the overall workforce. And that's having a huge impact on our readiness to be ready for the fire season somewhere in the U.S. in less than 8 weeks. And so that is truly concerning for me from a safety standpoint of view.
Walk me through that preparation process. What goes on now that has now sort of been upended that prepares wildland firefighters for the coming fire season?
Normally this time of year, we're hiring our seasonal or temporary employees to help us fill out our crews and our engines and our hotshot crews. Many of these employees have now been terminated, and now they've been rehired. And so there's real confusion in the system as to who's considered, a firefighter. Certainly there's firefighters that have firefighting in their job description. But there's so many other people that are supplemental firefighters that don't have fire in their job description that we really count on, that we really need their help and support. And so we've created a huge gap that's not going to be easily filled. This time of year, we also work with our state and local and municipal firefighters.
Kelly, I think we lost the connection with you for just a second or two. While you were talking, we were showing pictures of the Palisades fire and Eaton fires in Los Angeles. It's my understanding that you were one of the firefighters, one of the multitude of firefighters at the Palisades fire. If you could describe what that experience was like and how any of what we've been talking about in the shrinkage of the Forest Service or with wildland firefighters generally could compromise efforts to combat a similar fire should it occur.
We are seeing these large fires occur throughout the United States. So Southern California in January, typically where they see the Santa Ana winds, hadn't received any rain in about 8 months. California put out a call for assistance and help from other states to come in and assist them with their fire response. That's not normally our season of fire response. But we are seeing the need for federal response throughout the United States year-round now. These fires are not getting any smaller, and they're not getting any less destructive. They're only increasing in size and complexity, and we're desperate for ensuring that we have a solid federal response for wildland fires this summer.
And Kelly, just briefly, you are a very experienced firefighter, more than 30 years. What was the Palisades fire like for you?
When I first saw it on January 7th on the news, I had never seen anything like this, and I really felt like throughout my 35-year career in operations and fire behavior, I really needed to be there on the ground to really understand the magnitude of devastation that I was seeing. When I got there, it was even beyond my experience to even comprehend what I was looking at. So I did a lot of investigative introspection about how do we approach these new fires and these mega fires and these destructive fires in the future, because a lot of these communities like the Palisades and Altadena, a lot of them were built in post-World War II during the housing boom. And so a lot of these lots are very small, a lot of shrubs between the homes. And once they get started under a really high Santa Ana wind with very dry conditions, it is a catastrophe waiting to happen. And that's exactly what I saw.
Kelly Martin, thank you very much for your expertise. I appreciate it.